Thanks to the support of channel member Gareth Ford. Oh, you bunch of rascals. That went down quite well, didn't it? First proper non-League to Legend episode 1 in 2 years. We had over 1,000 people watching live on the premiere while I talked about chicken shops I've never even been to. And of course, we hit the 5,000 likes to unlock episode 2 this evening. Thank you very much for the incredible support. Let's do it again on this one. Let's have another 5,000 likes here. That would be a wonderful start to the new series. Glad you're enjoying it. Let's play a couple of football matches. And we're going to be doing it with a squad of players that doesn't look massively dissimilar to the squad of players that we had at the end of the last episode. I couldn't find my recruitment tab there. I'm looking, right, let's just... I'm still, I mean, I know I'm like 50 hours into this game at this point, I imagine. I am still learning my way around some of the screens. I probably need to get my transfer history up onto a bookmark if that's something that I can do. But we've signed one player. Brandon Aveiro is a 23-year-old Portuguese winger who can also, well, he's a left winger who can also play up front and across the rest of an attacking midfield three. He's previously been around a little bit. We had him in on trial before signing him permanently. Previously been at Palace and QPR and never really established himself anywhere. He's got the opportunity to establish himself here. 3 stars of current ability, 4 stars of potential. And in order to bring him in, we've released 4 of our players who were on non-contracts, including a 31-year-old Portuguese left winger. So we've just basically swapped Portuguese left wingers, but aged down about 8 years to do it and got rid of some of the other fringe players as well. The way I brought him in, because obviously we don't have director of football recommendations anymore. I'm using the player database with it clicked over to scouted players only. And at the moment we have a filter on for unattached players, and specifically we're looking for midfield players because we are very light in central midfield. So there is quite a lot of players who are starting to come in on the scouting list. We've also been doing quite a lot of staffs ins and outs, which for some reason staff ins and outs don't show up on the transfer history, which is handy. Does it show up on staff transfer activity? It does not. But we have a director of football. We have a couple of scouts now. I guess that's one of those bugs that will hopefully get fixed at some point, eh? But yeah, we are slowly but surely building a team of staff off the pitch as well. Here we go. Here we go. I found it. So we've got slightly fewer vacancies than we had before. There are still some vacancies. We are still working on it, but we do have a director of football who is the most significant new signing. Very nice haircut as well. Good looking boy. Joe Sumner. Younger than me, which is horrifying. But he is in. He's not much of a motivator. Don't worry, Joe. I'll take care of the motivating. You just worry about finding me good players, which is what you're here for. And he's competent at both of those things. I'm not sure what's better, competent or reasonable, but I'll take it. We're in the 6th tier, for goodness sake. First day of the season has us against Alfreton at home. If you remember from the last episode, Alfreton are one of the teams who aren't that far above us in the pre-season media prediction. With our transfers, we've actually dropped down from 4th worst to 2nd worst, which isn't the vote of confidence I was hoping for. But a home game against another team expected to be in the bottom half, it's the kind of match that we need to get some kind of result in. So fingers crossed we can get some kind of result. And this is the team that we are going to be trying to do it with. So Starman Ashmore is in goal. I wish it wouldn't default to career. So Nathan Ashmore, best goalkeeper in the league, is going to be playing for us in goal, and he wants to play well because he's our highest paid player. Then at left back, we've got Lewis Coyle, who is 31 years old and can play absolutely everywhere. He's a new signing at Bedford this summer, having previously been at Oxford City, so played at this level for years. We're going to be playing him as a playmaking wing-back because I've had so much success with it in other saves, and I mean, theoretically, he can do it. I won't be accused of bringing outside knowledge into the game. Look, it's his best role, so I have a good excuse for giving it to him. The other fullback is going to be Josh Dawodu, who's a 24-year-old right back, who's another new signing at Bedford this summer, previously of Sheffield Wednesday, way back when. Our centre-back partnership is going to be Cole Kwekawa who is a 29-year-old 6'4", and you can't teach that centre-back, who is yet another new signing and yet another guy who's been at Oxford City previously as well and has some decent Football League experience, which might come in handy. And of course, he's a big boy. If we can get set pieces working, that's not going to be a bad thing. Lewis Green is another big boy. He's 6'3". He can play pretty much anywhere in the defensive positions, but he's going to be starting at centre-back. He's 25 years old, and he's one of the few players we've got who's actually been here a little while. This is his third season at the club. He started at Coventry back in his youth. Our central midfield is where we are very light. We're playing Greg Taylor there, who is very much a centre-back. He is only 6'1", so he's the little one, which is why he has to go into midfield. He's the guy who's got that Cambridge taint about him, but we're going to try not to hold it against him. And he is 35, but because he's basically a defender playing in midfield, we are going to be using him as a halfback, which when I show you the team instructions in a second, we are bordering on a little bit fruity for this level with what we're doing, but we are kind of trying to adapt to the players that we've got, and I don't think he's someone who's going to be able to play as a proper midfielder for us. The midfield basically on his own is going to be Edward Gyamfi, who is our best player. He's 6'5". We've got some big boys, 5 stars of potential. We looked at him back in episode 1. He's been here a little while and we want great things out of him as well. And then the front four are where the goals need to come from. So we've got new boy Brandon Evero, who's going to be on the left-hand side. We've then got Joseph Ajose, who will play over on the right-hand side. He's formerly of QPR and was playing for Maidenhead last season. And then up front as a support striker, we've got Tyrone Marsh, who's playing in a deep-lying forward role and is basically going to be tucking in behind the main striker to try and link up the play a little bit, and has lots of experience playing at this level and the league above for Boreham Wood. And then leading the line today, but potentially going to be shifting around if it doesn't work out for him, is Terrell Whitaker, who's another guy who can play out wide or he can play centre forward. He's the paciest striker we've got, but it's not really saying a huge amount. He's not mega quick, but he does have decent potential. You know, I like a fast striker. He has got some spurs in him, but we do have the option, if it doesn't work out, to get Sean Jeffers involved, who, of course, has that excellent pedigree at this level, although he is getting a little bit older and losing his pace a little bit, so might be more useful for us as an impact sub. Looking at how those team instructions actually apply to the match, and I know I'm not traditionally a tactics guy, but goodness me, do I love this screen. I think it's the best thing about FM26. But this is us in possession. Is that us in possession? That looked like out of possession. No, this is us in possession. So when we've got the ball, we kind of turn into a 3. So we have our left back Coyle getting into midfield. Taylor, who can't really play in midfield, drops back to his more natural centre-back position to give us a 3. And Dawodu joins the attack on the right-hand side. Coyle joins to make a midfield 2 with Gyamfi. And the 2 wide players stay wide. The 2 strikers stay in the middle. Coyle comes over there to cover when need be as well. And then we get our midfielders forward into the penalty area as well, with Coyle kind of bobbing around as our playmaker. Out of possession, it just becomes a back 5. Gyamfi at 6'5", drop him back into being the centre-back with Taylor protecting, and it becomes very, very defensive when we're defending, because remember, we're not very good. And then as we get further forward defending, it becomes more of a 4-4-2. So I think it could work, or it could be a complete disaster. There's only one way to find out. Let's go and play Alfreton. Obviously, we're going to be learning a lot as part of these early matches. We have got I guess you could call it a blessing. We've got a lucky situation of there being absolutely no expectation on us. Even if we get relegated, yes, I'll get fired because there's no playable leagues below this one, but it won't be considered a failure necessarily. We're supposed to get relegated. I'll probably still be able to walk into another job. This is the first non-league stadium I've seen in FM26, by the way. And it actually looks like a non-league stadium in a park. That's actually quite cool. That's a really cool thing. I know some of the stadiums at the higher levels have had some criticism, but I think that's really, really cool. I like that a lot. But yeah, I think we've got time to figure out something tactically. I don't expect this to work straight away. We're very much going to be figuring it out and learning as we go. And obviously we're going to have time to bring in players as well. There's going to be players that we've got now that we'll be looking to move on. There's still 8 maybe of the non-contract players that are still at the club who, as we bring more Kev style players in, we'll move a few more of those on. There's the loan market that we've barely started exploring yet. So there's plenty to be getting on with. And we have scored. Oh, it's been disallowed. I thought we were going to score for a set piece as our first goal. I'm just checking that we've got all of our match settings set up correctly. But we have got a bunch of corner routines on. We haven't imported our FM24 corner routines because I kind of don't want to know if they work or not. So we are just using some basic, it's a basic in-swinger to the near post and in-swinger to the far post. And then we've got an out-swinger on, and we are going to try and get long throws working in this save as well. So there's lots of experimentation to be done. But today, most of what we're looking at is just keeping an eye on the shape, where we've got obvious gaps, where we're doing quite well, and where we might have a young striker score a worldie. What a way to get the first goal of non-league to legend on FM26. Balls to it being a corner. This is sensational from Whittaker. Picks the ball up. One look. I think that's his weak foot as well. Spots the keeper only fractionally off his line. What a goal. What a start to non-league to legend. I mean, first hero of the save, Whittaker, who's literally in the team at centre forward because he's fast. He's not supposed to be able to do that. I don't think he has that in his locker. Well, he obviously does have it in his locker. I didn't know that going in, though. But we'll take the final whistle now, please, ref. A 1-0 win. If we can win our home games and draw our away games, then we stay in the league. That's mid-table form right there. And we are looking to play the ball out from the back again. Look at us being fancy. New boy, Avero, plays it forward to Whittaker, who's playing as a channel forward, so getting out into one of his channels. Marsh is in the middle. Jose's come up to join him. Marsh is there, and it's 2-0. And Jose has 2 assists, I think. I think he officially got the assist for the Whittaker one, even though he didn't really have to do anything for that one. But that was much better play. And the entire front four's connected to that one. And this is kind of what the game plan is. The back 6 are there to defend, and then the front 4 are going to do all the attacking. It is the most basic of systems you could possibly hope for, but you saw all 4 of the attackers get touches of the ball there. So it clearly worked. We might have to nip this playing it out from the back in the bud, but to be honest, it's working. We're distributing to Avero, and he's then getting things going. Coyle as our playmaker coming inside. Gamfi plays it out to Avero, who's getting in some nice space, staying very wide on that left-hand side. The reason we swapped our Portuguese wingers over is because the one we got rid of wanted to be an inside forward, whereas Avero is quite happy to get chalk on his boots out wide and just stay out there and stretch the play, which is what we want in this wing play system that we're using. So it was a tactical transfer specifically to get someone who fits into this system. We've got a Jose who can do it on that side. Whittaker can probably do it on either side as well. And Avero can do it on the left, but 2-0 at half time and a very good performance. And that is everything I hoped and dreamed of for the start of this year's non-league to legend. I will insist that you take it with a large pinch of salt. We are at home, and Alfreton are one of the worst teams in the league. So if we didn't put in a good performance against this lot, we would be in real trouble from the off. This is the kind of team that even if we end up finishing 16th, these are the kind of teams we would beat for a 16th place finish. So yeah, I think I haven't even looked to our second matches. It's been all focus on this one. But it might not be quite so comfortable in a second match, and it might not even be comfortable in this one if we let Alfreton back into the game and we scramble it clear, but it comes back in, and Gamfi there. That's the advantage of having the 6'5" guy dropping back into a back 5 when we're defending. He's just there to head clear. It's why we've got him back there. And now Marsh leading the counter-attack, and Whittaker should have made it 3-0. I mean, that's bearing in mind the one he scored. That was so much of an easier chance than the one he scored. And he's absolutely scuffed it. Jeffers is going to be sat on the bench looking at that thinking, well, I score a goal there. I might not have done the first one, but I definitely returned the same amount of goals as this kid today. and he's probably got a very good point. And we might even look to bring him on shortly because we obviously don't want to run out of steam and let Alfreton back into the game. And they've got him behind our roaming fullback here. And Ashmore, best goalkeeper in the league, boys and girls. First time he's had to make a save. He did not. I mean, we can't. I don't think we can blame him, but I don't think we can blame Coyle for roaming either. He is actually back in position there. But after all the positives, it would be a bit of a blow if we then throw it all away at the end. And this is where us not having any more midfielders is a bit of a problem. I mean, we've got this guy we can't even click on, who I guess I'm leaving Gamfi on. I want to get Jeffers on. The plan was always to get Jeffers on. So I think we're going to take off Marsh. Marsh has been the best player on the pitch. We'll take off Whittaker. We'll just do a straight swap. That was kind of what I had in my mind before the match, to swap them. So I think we'll stick to the original game plan and swap them. And then Gamfi can come on for Phillips. I don't remember anything about Phillips, so I don't know for sure if that's a good change. But Gamfi's not had the best performance. And Phillips, I mean, he's good enough to be on the bench, so he's good enough to come off the bench. That should be the theory. Marsh has got him behind again, and Whittaker's scored again, and it now probably is a little bit harsh to make the substitution because the boy's on a hat-trick, but I haven't had the option to cancel the change. So this time he does score his tap-in, and he's basically coming off because he missed a tap-in before. But now Jeffers gets an opportunity for a little bit of a run-out. I think it's 3 subs at this level, which is why I've only made 2 there. I need to double check the rules of the competition because if we're allowed 5 substitutions, we are allowed 5 substitutions in the National League North. What will they think of next? Goodness me. Well, we can try plenty more boys out then. So Avero can come off. I don't know why he was showing us the goalkeeper on there, but he can come off for Brown. Lobjoit can come on for Marsh. And then the only other outfield player we've got is Brown, who can come on at centre-back for Green. Just swap the colours around. Brown for Green or Green for Brown. It was Brown for Green. There we go. Maybe we could have a rainbow team of collect all the colours together. Wouldn't that be fun? I doubt that. Is there a Mr. Red who plays professional football? I don't remember seeing one anywhere. Right, Jeffers attempting the long throw and actually finds his man. And it's back with Jeffers again, who gives the ball away, which is a little bit of a shame. 3-1 up with 5 minutes to go, and fingers crossed we're not ballsing it up from here. Although we are taking our time, getting everybody back into position, and this time Ashmore does make the save. That's why he's earning the big bucks. He's earning more than twice what I'm earning. He doesn't have to live above a chicken shop on £1,000 a week, but he's got the same haircut as me, I think. But a few people did notice in episode 1, yeah, I have deliberately, I mean, I haven't had it cut into a mohawk, but I have deliberately tried to get it into the FM26 hairstyle. It's not necessarily going to be like this every day, but, you know, launch day tribute. Let us try and get it as close to a mohawk as possible because you have to, don't you? You got to show solidarity with the best haircut in the game. But I think we've won our first match here, which is absolutely tremendous news. I have no idea who we're playing next. Let's find out, shall we? But first, give everybody a little pat on the head. That was jolly good work from all involved. And our next game, we're second in the league. Stop the count. We're playing Southport away. Let's try and find out how good Southport are. So if we go in here, Southport. Why is the league table? Oh, because I'm on season preview. That's why. So Southport lost their first game. They're down in the relegation zone. They are another team that we'd be looking to finish above. So it's going to be more of a challenge because it's away from home, but cross fingers, I guess. Oh, my director of football's tried to make a loan for me. Do we need another winger? We've just signed a winger. I mean, he's from Watford, though, so yeah, we probably do. You're probably not going to turn down a player from Watford. This is Football Manager. The Watford players are always the best players. Well, we did sign the guy from Watford. He's coming on loan. He's not costing us anything. So he says, we're not paying that, are we? No. I was going to say, as soon as I saw it was free, I was like, well, yeah, fine, let's take him in. He can play left wing or up front. It is frustrating that the one position I strengthened, the director of football has now re-strengthened because apparently my signing wasn't good enough. So Avero loses his place. Lawson comes in on the left for him. The guy we brought on in the last match, Declan Phillips, has decent potential. He's only 19, so actually I'm not against bringing him on and using him in the same circumstances we used him in that previous match. Otherwise, it is the same 11 as the previous match. There's obviously no reason for anyone to lose their place off the back of a result like that one, other than a fancy guy coming in from Watford. So let's see if this system can work away from home. We are on a positive mentality, and one of the things I have slowly learned so far in FM26, and I feel like I have this kind of epiphany at the start of most FMs before figuring out how to work around it. But away games do seem different from home games, and I don't know that this might finally be the year where we have to use a different tactic away from home to what we do at home. If you watched my Arsenal beta series, you will have noticed me occasionally switching to a counter-attacking system to close out games, for example. It's things I just don't do, and we have got this very different tactics creation thing now with the in possession and the out of possession roles, and it might just be that tactics work a little bit differently now, and I am certainly finding myself fiddling with it a little more, not just during matches but between matches as well. So I'm very much enjoying the new tactics thing. I think it's a fantastic little innovation that I'm enjoying very much. Apologies, boys and girls. I'm getting distracted by the fact we almost conceded a goal. There's the new boy Lawson. His first opportunity to charge down this left-hand side, and he's immediately given the ball away. Avero is sat there on the bench just glaring at me like I would have remember in the last match where I was playing that ball forward to the strikers and we were scoring. Do you remember that, boss? Do you remember it? Yes, I remember it. Right, Whittaker. He scored from further out than this in the last match. Is he going to have another pop? I'm starting to think his left foot might be his strong foot because he's taking that free kick left-footed. So I'm less impressed by what he did in the last match now. Yeah, he scored from 35 yards, but if it was on his strong foot, I mean, we can all do that, can't we? It's only impressive if it's on your weak foot. But it is Southport who have had the better of this opening half hour or so, and they've got the highlight again here, and they've gone past Lawson pretty easily, and Dawodu, I mean, he's just been out-muscled there. We've got all of these big, strong boys in our back four. He's the only one that isn't, really. And I am thinking if we're going to have Coyle going off on his adventure, there is an argument that we move Green to right back as a big, strong centre-back to really make that three, so that stuff like that doesn't happen. But in order to do that, we need another starting centre back. Or realistically, we need a midfielder because Taylor could drop back there, Green can move over there, and then we just need to bring in another midfielder, and we can shuffle around how that back three, back five works then. But we've won a penalty, so none of it matters. Let's score a penalty, and I think this is Whittaker, and I am really convinced he might be left-footed now. Can he make it 3 goals in a game and a half and really establish himself as the early hero of the save? Terrell Whittaker, who I think I've had in previous non-League to Legends. The name is very familiar. I think he's one of those players who would get released by Spurs, released by his Premier League club at the end of the first season. And he was one of those ones who would always come in on trial and always be used. So I think he is a non-League to Legend veteran. The historians out there will be able to confirm all the times I've signed him, no doubt, because you remember my saves better than I do. But I don't ever remember him being a striker before. In my head, he's always been a right winger, but certainly he seems more of a striker than a winger in this iteration, which I guess is closer to what he's become in real life. But he's got him behind again here. Whittaker, he's taken a heavy touch and gone a little wide with it. And unfortunately, I don't think he decided for himself there whether that was a cross or a shot. Marsh was waiting for it in the middle, and he's just kind of hit it in vaguely the right direction without really committing to either. And yeah, it didn't really work out for him, believe it or not. But I mean, we'll take this. Like I said in the last match, win your home games, draw your away games, and I'll be a happy little rascal. So we'll take the final whistle now. And it does look like we've started the second half reasonably brightly. The ball's been up this end of the pitch quite a lot, although it is now Southport arresting control again, and they've certainly had more of the possession and created more chances. Obviously, we have got some attacking options on the bench now with Jeffers, with Avero. We've got potential starters sat down there on the bench who could come on and make a difference if we do need to chase a goal. Whittaker plays it back to Lawson, and now Whittaker getting in behind again. He's causing that fullback all sorts of problems, and Marsh is there to get his second goal in 2 games. The Marsh and Whittaker strike partnership is doing everything I hoped it would do early on. Was that Lawson with the assist there? Or is that Coyle getting? It's Coyle, I think, who plays the cross. So all the way forward from left back. There's your playmaking left back making plays again, boys and girls, and having a lovely time doing it. But it's 2-1 to Bedford. I did not dream of 2 wins at the start of this save. This would be an absolute delight if we managed to pull this off. Right, we're going to take off a Jose, and we are going to put Whittaker out on that right-hand side, which was always one of the plans that I had for him. Despite him being a goal machine, apparently, he goes out onto the right-hand side where I'm actually going to invite him to cut inside onto that strong left foot because we've got Dawodu going beyond him. And then we'll take off Gamfi again. Actually, no, we're going to take off Taylor. And then I think we'll just take off Lawson. Lawson's not had a good debut. He's not match fit. Avero, very hard done by. Did nothing wrong in the previous match. So let's get him on and let him try and nail down his starting spot for the next match. I mean, a finish there would have gone a long way to doing it, but he's absolutely fluffed his lines, ballooned it over the crossbar, and invited Southport back into a game that, to be fair, they are going to be feeling quite upset about currently because they have been the better team. Certainly in the first half, oh my word. Certainly in the first half, they've been the better team. We've done well in this second half, but yeah, they'll be feeling pretty grumpy if they end up not coming away with anything at all to show for this match. Right, Coyle is tiring, so Brown could come on for him, and then we'll take off Marsh for LOLLUJO. I need to learn how to say his name. It might be LOLLUJO, but I suspect it probably isn't, and I'm just saying it the way it's spelt. But we've got a corner. It's going to be Whittaker to take. We have still got all of those big boys ready to nod this in the middle. Corner comes in. It's headed out as far as LOLLUJO. Whittaker gets it back into the penalty area, and there is LOLLUJO again. And then Brown shoots from range. Can't keep his shot down. Jeffers doesn't look really with it, does he? At 33, I wonder if Jeffers maybe isn't going to be what we hoped he would be with his previous goal scoring record. Brown is going to be given a little bit of a lecture by the referee here. I think he's got away with it. He's not even got a yellow card, I don't think. And it's going to be Southport to get things underway again. And that was another very heavy challenge that we've got away with. We're big, strong boys. We've got an element of thuggishness about us, and I'm not upset about it. I don't mind us being quite strong in the tackle, as we've shown there. Whittaker winning the ball back. Jeffers drops deep now, and Avero has got the run of Brown ahead of him. Brown, primarily a centre-back, but still playing on that playmaking left-back role that Coyle had on him before. And, I mean, gets a disallowed assist. Don't think he gets any credit for it. But LOLLUJO looks sharp, and Brown looked like he's quite capable of charging forward from left-back, both of which are positives when it comes to potential future squad depth situation stuff. But you know what, boys and girls? We're top of the National League North. FM26, it's an easy game. Come on. Back to back to back to back. We're off to the Champions League, etc., etc. By the time Universal are in Bedford, we'll be in the Champions League, etc., etc. We might come down to earth with a bump in the next episode, because eventually we're going to have to play against somebody good. Filed, I think, are quite good. In fact, Filed, I think, are probably the favourites for the title. So Filed away is probably a good spot to pick up tomorrow's episode, which, like I say, will be in our usual 4 o'clock Monday to Friday slot. from this point onwards. We just had to get 2 episodes in on launch day because we're all excited and ready to go, aren't we? But if you have enjoyed that video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.